Good afternoon and welcome to Trading Options Network. It is time for our live training today. However, before we get into anything, let's go ahead and get through our disclaimer here real quick. Everything we discuss is solely my opinion, not the opinion of Trading Options Network. So do with the information what you will, but take responsibility for your actions. And of course, be sure to like, follow, or subscribe on your favorite social media platform to stay up to date with tips of the day, stocks of the day, everything else. Super excited to be here today and discuss the market. As you can see, it's pretty much the opposite of yesterday. Yesterday was very, very red with the exception of energy. Energy seemed to be the only green sector yesterday, and now pretty much everything is green and energy is the only sector that is red. So if we go ahead and look at the chart, sure enough, it is pretty much exactly opposite of what we saw yesterday. Go ahead and just update this really quick. Get the Bollinger Bands on there. I don't need that. That's okay. I don't need that. I'll change that to the CCI since it's up. I'll move that up top. MACD is good. RSI is kind of redundant in my opinion if I have the CCI. All right, there we go. That's how I like it. All right, so as you can see, again, yesterday was a red day. Pretty much everything in the market was red, again, with the exception of energy. Energy was green, and then today it's flip-flopped. Most of the market is green, with the energy sector being red. So again, as we should expect, pretty much the exact opposite day of yesterday, an opposite candle overall. So we're up about 1%. Yesterday we were down about 1%. But again, you know, it just kind of fits into the grand, I shouldn't say grand scheme of mine, but you know, my idea of where the market's going to be for the next few weeks until the election date, and that's pretty much going nowhere. I just do not see anything driving the market one way or the other all that much until the election. Now, that being said, we do have the core CPI on Thursday, as well as a PPI on Friday. So we could see a little bit of volatility on Thursday and Friday, but again, you know, when it comes down to it, I really don't see a whole lot happening until the election. If we look at the equal weight, funny thing about the, come on, there we go. All right. Even though yesterday it was predominantly red with a little bit of green, and then today it's a predominantly green with a little bit of red, the equal weight ETF has not moved that much. And that's mainly because, you know, a lot of these bigger companies, oops, I wanted to go back to there. Yesterday, a lot of these bigger companies were still slightly green or a little bit green when most of the market was red. I think NVIDIA was green yesterday. I mean, I'm not really, oh, excuse me, don't really care. Don't really care. What I care about is looking at the charts and seeing the technicals. And again, equal weight. I mean, this specific chart is actually a little bit more bullish than the S&P chart. Right here, it's a little bit more bullish. This one is still bullish. This one's more bullish. Okay. Now why? Somebody else is messing with those settings right now. Oh well, can't do anything. If I go ahead and take a look at the couple of stocks that were recently added to my watch list, if you pay attention to my social medias, XOM was my stock of the day, I believe, from last Thursday. I was waiting for it to have a pullback. Okay, I wasn't entering, even though I could have and probably made a little bit of money. I didn't like the fact that it had broken out and moved up super quickly. I don't like chasing securities. I don't like chasing stocks. So I wanted to see a pullback. That's what we're having. Now all I will want to see is having it have a nice higher pivot low. Okay. In which case it comes down and maybe hits right around this line, maybe around 120, and bounces. So what was previously resistance is now support. I know I've mentioned that multiple times in previous videos. I like that setup. I think it's a great setup and a great opportunity, but that's exactly seems to be what's happening. It may not go all the way down to 120. If we gap up tomorrow, that might be all I need to get in, but we'll see. The good old How I Met Your Mother Aerospace. I love it. How Met Aerospace. As you can see here, it is still moving up. This one was my stock of the day from yesterday, if you follow me on my social medias. And very, very similar. Now, ExxonMobil was moving sideways and broke out. This one was this one's been actually very, very bullish. Now it gapped up here and then it moved sideways for a few months, and then it gapped up in that earnings, and then came back down, filled the gap, and then moved back up to where it went to after earnings, only to kind of go sideways, and now it's starting to break out again. So I like this one, but again, very similar to ExxonMobil, I want to see this one have a little bit of a pullback before and it's right back to where I had it a moment ago. Anyways, as I was saying, we're gonna be having a little bit of a tug of war on these right now. Oh, I love it. There we go. All right. So, as I was saying, I want to see this one have a little bit of a pullback similar to ExxonMobil, and then have what was previously resistance now showing as support. But again, just because I put it on my watch list does not mean I need to open up a position in it right away, or if I'm ever going to open up a position in it. There have been stocks that I have put on my watch list that I have not opened up a position in because it did not do what I wanted it to do, and that's totally fine. So that's what I have for the market today. Again, it's not super exciting. Nothing's crazy. Yeah, it's mostly green and everything, but overall, it's a pretty standard day. All right. So that being said, my tip of the day today was always be a student. Always continue to learn. Okay. So it wasn't necessarily market driven or, stock or options driven. It was more of a mentality tip of the day. And the reason I was doing that, I was working out this morning. And when I was working out, I kind of realized that, hey, I'm working out to get stronger, to stay healthy, so on and so forth. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do for you all when it comes to options and investing. You always have to be a student of anything you want to do in this world. In this case, I am a options teacher. I am teaching you how to trade options. That does not mean I do not have my own teachers. I still learn from people when it comes to options, as well as investing in general. Okay, I have teachers for a lot of things. I used to have a personal trainer. I continuously watch good old YouTube University videos to get better at a lot of things. Okay, so in the end, again, my tip of the day was you always need to be a student. So while you may have been trading for a long time, or maybe you've been in just the regular stock game for a while, like myself, I did a lot of business and work with mutual funds and ETFs and, life insurance and stuff like that for the longest time. And I didn't get into options until 2018. So even though I had a pretty good, knowledge base when it came to investing, I knew very little about options. Some of you may be in the same position. You may have been trading stocks, for a long period of time, and now you want to add options to your portfolio. That's great, but again, you have to learn somewhere. You have to start somewhere. It looks like the market just closed. But again, always be a student. Always want to keep learning. You have to be hungry to continue to get better. And oftentimes I have to remind myself that. Okay. Sometimes I will get to I'm not going to say a rut or anything like that, but sometimes I'll start, not performing as well as I have in the past. And sometimes I wonder why. And I realize, hey, when was the last time I read anything new? When was the last time I watched a video or listened to some sort of podcast, for example? When was the last time I did that? You have to keep doing that. If you want to get better, you have to, every single day, every day, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it doesn't really matter as long as you're moving forward. A good friend of mine who owns a solar business always says 1% a day. I mean, if you can get better, if you can get 1%. Now, he's not in the finance business. There is something called the rule of 72 in the finance industry, and you take 72 and divide it by the quote unquote interest rate. Well, if we say that 1% better is your interest rate, if you divide 72 by 1, that's approximately how long it takes for your money to double in the finance, or in this case, getting better. If you get 1% better every single day, it takes 72 days for you to literally double your efficiency or double your productivity or double your potential, whatever it may be, whatever you're getting better at. 1% a day. It only takes 2.5 months to double yourself. Imagine if you did it for 365 consecutive days, 1 year. How much better you would be if you focused on just getting 1% better. 1%. That's it. I know you're probably more or less listening than really looking at anything right now, and that's totally fine. But again, my tip of the day, and this honestly is something that I'm kind of telling myself right now too, always be a student, always strive to get better, and always be hungry to learn more. All right, so I really don't have anything else for you. Again, the market today was green. It kind of actually gave back. Gave back. It bounced back to what it gave up yesterday, almost to the penny. Yesterday, actually, let me see. Let's just zoom in here a little bit. So on Friday, we had closed at 572.98. Yeah, we're literally 9 cents. 9 cents. We closed 9 cents off of Friday's close. So like I said, we pretty much climbed back exactly what we lost yesterday. So 2 offsetting days for the most part. So again, pretty much goes what I was saying with the market being pretty neutral for a little while. I think a couple more weeks. Although with the exception of maybe this Thursday and Friday, with the CPI, the CPI and the PPI. So many acronyms in this business. You can expect a little bit of volatility, but overall, I don't think it's going to have a huge, effect in the market. I wouldn't be surprised if, again, the following Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, kind of reversed whatever happens Thursday and Friday. So overall, we'll see what happens. I don't have anything else for you. I hope you guys have a great rest of your afternoon, and take care.